When you're younger, you never really think about what's going to happen next. One memory after the other. Can't choose what you remember, you can't choose what you can forget. For me, it's always been a constant battle. Days keep going by until one day you wake up as an adult, reminiscing on memories you don't really want to remember. That's until new ones are made that make you relive the past. I've had a pretty long week. My relationship ended. I joined a small video contest, entered a video that I had worked over a month on, ended up winning first place, only because I was the only person that entered, and then was told I didn't deserve it. And the cherry on top, I burnt the Thanksgiving turkey. I thought things couldn't get worse from here, but then I started working on a new video and feeling terrible about what's happened throughout the week, only to have my computer decide that it's time for it to also go and make my life a little more complicated. A computer that I've had for almost 9 years just turned off on me. It's like the universe hated me at that exact moment. I had nothing else to do, just mope and be sad by myself. So I slowly decided to go to sleep. It was like 5 in the morning. I had nothing to do tomorrow, so I was just planning on sleeping in and self-wallowing in my own sadness. That's until the next morning, when I woke up to a bunch of banging on my door. I didn't know what was going on. I was in complete shock. I look over and my brother's standing at the door, screaming at me to get out of the room, that I'm an idiot, I need to get up now. I didn't hesitate. I got up and ran, followed him outside the house, and was wondering what's going on. He was still screaming at me to help him. I rush over and I see a hole on the floor, and I told him what's going on. He told me the pipe is broken, that we have to turn off the water now. So we go over, we turn it off, and then we go inside, where he lets me know what exactly happened. Which apparently the neighbor came over to tell us that there was water leaking into his yard, and that we should do something about that. But he kept knocking, and because I was knocked out, I didn't hear anything. So he went to my brother's workplace and told him himself. My brother got really angry and drove all the way back home to come deal with it, which is where the story picks up, where I woke up. And he was very upset. And that he tried to call me, but I wouldn't pick up. But to be completely honest, my phone is weird. I don't recommend a Razr 2 because it doesn't tell you when you get phone calls. Which, after hearing the story, explains why he yelled at me and told me a bunch of names. But after examining the pipe, we realized all it really needs is glue. For whatever reason, the people that made our house decided that that wasn't necessary. So we just went to the store, grabbed some glue, and went and repaired it. It seemed like an easy fix. We waited a couple hours and we were good. The pipe wasn't leaking anymore. But it just seemed too much of an easy job after the week that I had. And then the next day happened, when a new leak occurred. We had an emergency meeting and we got together because we were so confused. We had just fixed one and now a new one came out. A much harder one. One that was in the brick wall, which meant that if we wanted to fix it, the only way to get to it was we needed to get a hammer and start chipping away as much as we could on it. Mind you, we're not handy people. We grabbed whatever we could that looked like a hammer and started smashing the wall, what seemed for hours. And very little progress was made. Once we finally started seeing a little bit of the pipe, we realized maybe we might be getting close. But it started getting dark outside, so we decided to turn off the water for the night and we just continue the next day. So the next day comes and something else happened. We noticed that the water boiler was now leaking a ton of water. I already knew this was going to come. The water boiler itself already had rust on the bottom, so this was bound to happen. But the fact that both leaks happened one after the other was a bit of an inconvenience. Mostly because we were in the middle of winter, which meant, because we have no boiler, means that until it gets fixed, we're gonna have to shower with cold water. Let me explain why this is an issue. It's so weird how small things, whether you see it, touch it, smell it, hear it, taste it, will bring you back to a memory you didn't know you had, or at least didn't want to remember. Waking up one day and being told we had to go to the hospital immediately. Mom's sick. Then, a couple weeks after being told that we're gonna move cities, Mom needs a different opinion. A week after, we move into my oldest brother's house, where his wife ended up telling my mom that she didn't want to take care of her anymore, so she went back to the hospital. A couple weeks later, I wasn't told how severe it was, and she dies. Didn't get to say goodbye either. Days later of attending a funeral, not understanding the true meaning of death, I always figured one day I'd wake up and she's standing right there. The idea always lingered in my head. A couple days later, I'm officially moved into the new school, where no one liked me because I was mute and I didn't want to talk to nobody. My dad decided that it'd be best for me to stay with my brothers. The brother I currently live with decided that he didn't want to be in that city, and he moved back home. So with him leaving meant that my oldest brother was now in charge of me. And soon I realized what two petty adults look like. My older brother was caught cheating, and his wife had enough. She decided that she was going to kick both of us out because I wasn't her responsibility. And instead of doing the right thing, she decided to be petty and let me go with him. And with nowhere else to go, my brother decided that we were going to move into his store, his audio store, that had a filthy restroom that no one ever cleaned because he didn't care. He had his girlfriend that he can go take nice clean showers at. But no, me, I was the only person that had to suffer through the idea of having to go in there and try to clean myself with a filth around me. And to top it off, every winter was freezing. So, because there was no boiler and there was no way to heat the water up because we had no stove, I was forced to shower in cold water. When I was a kid, I'd look up to the sky and wonder, why me? Why is all these bad things happening? I never got an answer back. But I'm an adult now. I'm no longer this helpless kid that doesn't know what to do and just hoped for something to change. I am that change. I'm gonna do something about this. I turned off the water and let all these emotions out of my head. I went to my brother and told him, we're fixing this. He let me know that he talked to the neighbor and that he's gonna lend him a jackhammer. And me, having zero experience using one, grabbed it and destroyed that wall and finally found the pipe that was broken. Then we patched it up really fast and went on to the boiler. Now, we were just gonna throw it in the trash, but to be completely honest, we put them in the front yard and someone took them, probably made them into a grill, probably making the best barbecue in town right now. Also, my brother decided to get a tankless water heater instead of a boiler because it's a lot cheaper. But because of this, we were stuck without a boiler for another week. So that meant we still had to take cold showers. But it's okay because with this new grown perspective, I realized things may happen that are bad, but that means that something good should happen soon. You always gotta look at the brighter side of things. Like, yeah, I won a contest by default, but I won because I deserved it. I was the only one that cared enough to make a video and believed in that contest to want to keep trying to do something fun. And my team loved making the video, so I stand by my work. And at the end of the day, no judge tells me my worth. And yeah, my relationship ended. Sucks. But it doesn't mean a new one won't come by. That'll show me exactly why that other one didn't work out. Sadly for the computer though, it couldn't be fixed. We took out its hard drive, actually ended up saving the video and any other little content that I had saved throughout the years of doing this. And we moved it to my brother's computer. So I've just been using his ever since, until I one day get miracle money or something to get me a new computer. But right now, it's working and that's all I need and I'm very thankful for it. As for the turkey, I got next year, which technically is in a couple months. So follow me on my social medias if you want to see if I end up burning the turkey this year. And the last thing I want to say is that if you have something in your heart that you want to do, like some cake recipe you know would make you a ton of money on Facebook, then you should do it. The universe created us to do what we want to become. Things happen and you can't control them. And even if it happened a long time ago and they come back to haunt you, like a distant memory that just doesn't want to go away because it's supposed to be there. At least that's how I see it. It's supposed to be there to remind you the type of person you are, and that little things may happen to you now, but it's not going to change the person that has been built to withstand anything. So we fixed it. We ended up getting a waterless tank, and we eventually got hot water again, even though it meant I had to take a couple cold showers. Being petty is pointless.